Now, speaking about game news, this is something that has been very a little controversial. It's been all over my timeline this morning, lots of different opinions, but Pirate Software just happens to be the person who posted this out that I saw and gave some, good context here. He said, not happening. Removing access from Steam players unless they make a PlayStation account and link it months after release is absurd. Review changed to negative, and I have filed for a refund. So let's take a look here. HellDivers 2 has sent out an announcement to all of its players. You should have received it, mainly on Steam, that says this. Attention, HellDivers. Due to technical issues at the launch of HellDivers 2, we allowed the linking requirements for Steam accounts to a PlayStation Network account to be temporarily optional. That grace period will now expire. See details below in this post. Account linking plays a critical role in protecting our players and upholding the values of safety and security provided on PlayStation and PlayStation Studios games. So just by them saying this, this goes to show that HellDivers 2 is owned by PlayStation. It is PlayStation might not own it all. They might be a majority owner or something, but ultimately PlayStation controls HellDivers 2. This is our main way to protect players from griefing and abuse by enabling the banning of players that engage in that type of behavior. So, to protect players from griefing and abuse, by them linking their accounts, they can ban the players that engage in that type of behavior. So, you're telling me they couldn't ban players before on Steam? That makes no sense. It also allows those players that have been banned the right to appeal. So if you did get banned, you're able to appeal all because you're linked to your PlayStation account. That makes no sense. As such, as of May 6th, all new HellDivers 2 players on Steam will be required to connect their Steam account to a PlayStation Network account. Current players on Steam will start to see the mandatory login from May 30th and will be required to have linked a Steam and PlayStation Network account by June 4th. PlayStation Network accounts are free and easy to set up using this link. Now, some people will be like, well, it's not a big deal. Just create a PlayStation account and link it. And that's kind of what I was thinking too. I was like, well, what's the counter argument here a little bit, right? What's the counter argument? But I do think it's kind of messed up that they're doing this months later rather than just, figuring out for release. But regardless, we'll continue. We understand that while this may be an inconvenience to some of you, this step will help us to continue to build a community that you are all proud to be part of. Sony Interactive Entertainment made that post. Okay. And he goes on, Pirate Software goes on to say this, which is actually a great explanation as to why this should have some hate. For all of those saying to just make a PlayStation account, bro, if you've been playing HellDivers 2 and do not live in one of these listed countries, he put a link, you cannot make a PlayStation account. Choosing a country you do not live in is a violation of Sony's TOS and could lead to account termination. So basically, for the people who are not in a country that allows you to make a PlayStation account, they're kind of screwed. How many countries are there? Well, I don't really know too much, but there's apparently some of them in here, but you'd have to go through and click on every single one, which I'm definitely not doing. But there is some countries that you're not able to make a PlayStation account, meaning that if they enjoyed HellDivers 2, well, after this update, they can no longer enjoy HellDivers 2 because they can't make a PlayStation account. So yeah, kind of messed up. And that is honestly a very good a very good explanation as to why this should receive a bit of hate. I don't see they're saying the only reason they're justifying them being able to or requiring you to link your PlayStation account is simply for the reason of I don't know, security. But yet there's not enough security through the way you run the game on Steam? Or is it just too much work for you to do that? I'm assuming it's too much work, too much effort to have to ban players on Steam separately than PlayStation. I don't know. I don't know. Lol, big deal. I guess the player base who live in a country that aren't listed are like 0.0001% player base anyways. Yes, however, the only issue is though is that again, could there potentially be legal issues? I don't know. It depends on their country's legal things, but the issue is that this game is paid to play. So you gotta buy it. Okay. On top of buying it, they never told you that this was going to be like actually, well, I don't actually know exactly, but did they make this very apparent when you bought the game that in the future you're going to have to link an account? You can't get around it. Did they make that very notable? Because those players who are in those countries, if they bought the game, they're literally just blacklisting them because they can't make an account. So yeah, they bought the game, they enjoyed it for a month or 2 or 3 or whatever, and then now they can't play it anymore. Did they tell them enough? Did they make it apparent that you're going to have a PlayStation account to make sure that the risk is on the user and not the game or the company? That's the main concern here as well. Because obviously, bro, it sucks to see people screwed out of money, right? But of course, if you have a very valid reason, I'm sure you could request a refund through Steam or something. If you have and this is a very valid reason. So yeah, I don't buy. Why I don't buy mainstream games anymore? Down. Down with AAA prices. Done with AAA prices. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really. Yeah, I don't know, man. They want to pad PlayStation Network numbers by adding a bunch of PC only players. That's a good point too. Wait, that's actually a good point. Now, obviously, that might not be their main reason, but that is definitely a reason. By having this be the case, people will create PlayStation account numbers and they won't ever use them because they just created it to link it to their Steam so that way there they could play the game. And what that does do is, in terms of PlayStation and Sony's numbers, their what is it? Their statistics. Due to their statistics, well, their statistics are going to go up. They're going to go up, saying, "Hey, look at all these players that we have now. We got a massive jump by over 1 million players. Let's go." Obviously, it would probably not be that large, but still, that would up their stats for better investment or whatever, better statistics to the world. That's definitely a possibility. And I think as long as you behave in game, then you won't have an issue. But yeah, it's weird to force people to make a PlayStation account, especially for PC users. Yeah, maybe they want the emails to send out ads to all the PC players, but they can get all the emails anyways, I'm pretty sure. Um, like I would imagine they could get all the emails anyways of the people who own the accounts. I don't know. I haven't checked the link though. If you need to fill an email or something, oh, I mean, if you're creating an account for PlayStation, you got to, right? You have to. Like you're literally creating a PlayStation account. But that is definitely a possibility. Boosting PlayStation, Sony's stats, statistics of player count or whatever, on top of being able to try to market people. I don't know how well that'll work, but at least boost their statistics. That's a great point. That's a great point, Lou. But I do think it's a bit messed up. I mean, it's months later, and did players really know about this? And I want to say probably not, because Pirate Software is very, very good at looking into this stuff and learning about this stuff. And it seemed like he had no idea that this was the plan. But yet in this post, they make it sound like, oh, it was a temporarily optional, but that grace period will now expire. Like it seems like they made it seem as if, Oh, yeah, by the way, it was just an optional thing really early on, but they never let anybody know that it was going to be forced in the future. And then guess what? Hey, now we're forcing it. So if it does affect you because you can't make an account or for whatever reason, unlucky. Honestly, just unlucky. Just get better. Right. That's pretty much the general consensus here. It's kind of, I don't know. I find it a little bit weird. Yes, it's not the end of the world. Just create a PlayStation account, bro. It's not really the end of the world, but I do think it's definitely weird. Very weird. And the only reason that they give against you here, as for why they're doing this, is for security purposes, so they can ban people. It makes no sense. It's kind of, there's some confusing things here. Things are just not adding, you know, kind of weird. But anyways, there you go.